Good morning and welcome to Adu and the Guru on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. It's a Monday edition, and as always, on the Adu and the Guru show, we bring you not just a historical perspective, but in-depth, very insightful analysis to all the stories making the news, making the rounds. And today's edition is a very unique one. Maybe the first time we'll be having the show run like this, you'd know in a moment. But it's my singular honor and distinguished pleasure to introduce to some and present to others the editor-at-large of the newsguru.com, is also the man with a historical perspective, the indefatigable national youth leader of our time, and is also fatherly at heart and full of wisdom and insight. Talking about the man with the periscope, the Guru. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Adu.
I'm sure listeners are wondering how come the Guru is talking over the telephone.
It's pleasing to hear your voice this morning, this sunny Monday morning in Lagos.
Yes, it is. It is here too.
I'm operating from. Am I diaspora? I'm operating in this diaspora, or am I operating from my village?
I'm sure, Guru. You are. I don't know, but you are here. That's the most important thing.
That's good. That's good. So, Adu, once again, good morning. And Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. This is Adu and the Guru. Good morning to everyone, depending the part of the world you are, of course. To some people, I will say good evening. To some people, I will say good afternoon, and many other things like that. You are welcome to today's episode. First of all, let me explain this. Last week, because of the exigency of what we had to go through, I did promise that this week there shall be no new menu. The 10 menu slated for last week, that we shall be reconsidering them. But let us recognize that the first menu, which was 60% of corruption issues in Nigeria legalized the budget, as reported by The Guardian, was faithfully tackled.
Yes.
Now, therefore, we have 9 menu left. Now, but what I did is to add 1 menu, which of course I forgot totally, maybe because of change of environment or change of place of residency, I wouldn't know. I did not send to Adu. So Adu, my apology, the one added.
Okay.
Which will now make it number 10. It is declaration of bandits as terrorists, meaningless like that of IPOB. This is Gumi and Premium Times reporting this. So, and today we might not be going through the totality of all, because most of them have been exhaustively talked about during Money Digest of last week, but we shall pick the signet one. But let me just quickly announce that in the studio, I have my guest who is there with Adu already. And of course, it's somebody that all of us, we are not stranger to him. All of us, we know him. Mr. Ugade, that is Obaro Ugade. He's well known. He's an expert in the petroleum industry. He has his knowledge around the whole globe on whatever petroleum is coming to us. We need him today to talk more about what is happening to the petroleum industry in Nigeria specifically. Because we ask questions about the modular refineries, we ask questions about the Dangote refinery, the 650,000 barrel crude refining per day, and which is now becoming the only hope left for the country, and many other things that are happening. But most importantly, there is a question we will ask Mr. Gadi today. And the question is incorporated in item number, is it 4? No.
The 5.
Is it 5? That's secrecy.
Doubts.
That's 1 billion barrels oil discovery in North. This is very, very important. And the only person who can give us all this answer is my uh, how would I do have called that name? My erudite petroleum expert, and he's with us in the studio. Do we tackle a few things there before we bring him on the microphone? But for now, please, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome Mr. Barogade to the studio. Mr. Barogade, you are welcome, please.
Thank you, Mr. Guru. Good morning, Lagos, chance, and good morning, Nigerians. And thank you once again. It's a privilege to speak to you at Lagos Talk 91.3 FM.
Oh, that's very good. God bless you. Then let us kickstart the day. Like as I said, historical perspective is missing for obvious reasons because we just have to tackle a few of these things because they are matters of the moment. But I cannot start off without celebrating my very, very good friend, Gabi Okorare. We have been close enough for over 40 years. Yesterday, 5th of December, he clocked exactly 70 years on this planet Earth. And the guy is still kicking and moving with agility, moving with brilliance, moving with every other thing. And being a friend for this number of years, it will just be kind of me to celebrate him. But above all, he has always identified with my show, Lagos Talks 91.3. He is one of the first few that sign in as friends of the Guru, and he has been carrying out his financial responsibilities since his signing. This will be his this December will be his third payment because October he paid, November he paid, and I'm very, very sure he would have even paid this if he has not. So Gabi Okorare, I call him plus other friends anyway. We call him Shine Bobo. Shine Bobo. He's one of the greatest sculptors we have in the country. He's a great painter and all those. So Gabi, Shine Bobo, congratulations on your 70th birthday. 70 years on this earth is a great, great grace.
Yes.
And we thank God for your life. And it's like your look, as I saw it yesterday while you were dancing, it's like you are still ready to go for the next 70 years without even sitting down. That would be a miracle. 140 years. Gabi, sure you hit that. But again, let us celebrate you at 70 because the Bible spoke of his days being 70. David wrote that in the Psalm. And Moses, the man who recorded Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Moses said in Genesis chapter 6 that his days shall be 120 years. And if you go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7, it says that Moses was 130 years. His eyes never dimmed, nor any part of his body abated. Then if you go to the Bible to recording of Chronicles, you will see that David was exactly 7 years, not one day added, not one day removed. Because, of course, that's what he wrote. So, Gabi, congratulations. So, this music is for you for only 2 minutes, but it's for you. So, have a very joyful time, please.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Hello?
Guru, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you very loud and clear.
Okay, we are back.
Yes, we are back. Thank you very much. Gabi Okoraro, that's for you. Enjoy yourself, but don't forget my cake, my wine. And it must be expensive wine, the one we are used to, please. Now, let us move straight away to the talk, as we said. Number one on the menu of last week, which was suspended to today, 60% of corruption issues in Nigeria legalized. That was discussed exhaustively. The number two menu there was NSAS, real reason Buhari government is discrediting panel report. Of course, it was mentioned briefly. I will only just say a word there because I must give all the time that needed to Obaro to explain things for us, because we need his explanation in the momentum economic crisis we are facing today, with prices of gas, cooking gas, a pending increase in petroleum price, 5,000 naira to be given to 40 million poorest of poor Nigerians, instrument of identification and instruments of disbursing the money, and who relays this category plus. We take a time. So answers, the real reason Buhari government is discredit a panel report. Let's summon it in one word. And that was the answer that came directly from President Muhammadu Buhari when he granted an interview to Arise Television. Now, that interview that was well attended, Dr. Fabiola was there, Dr. Abati Ruben was there, and Shegun Adeniji was there. He was led by the chairman of the organization itself, Uduka, was there. But when the matter of the NSAS and the disaster that happened at the toll gate came, the disaster of October 20th, 2020, when it came, President Buhari answer to that question told us why the government must continuously and continually be against the report as presented by Justice Doris Okuwobi-led panel. And that, of course, the stand of the federal government, as publicly announced to us by Lai Mohammed, the Federal Minister of Information, had been backed by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Lagos State, who was the chairman of the four-man panel to write white paper. The statement of the chairman of the white paper panel rubbished the panel as much as Lai Mohammed rubbished it. The answer given by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Arise crew on that interview was that those people that want to come and drive me away from here, meaning the youth protesters. We're not talking of the hoodlums that were sponsored to invade the arena, but the youth itself. Buhari saw them as people that were trying to drive him away from the villa, meaning he would have termed them as coupists. That was the answer he gave, that they were. So, if they were coupists, and President Muhammadu Buhari is a retired Major General of the Nigerian Army, is a man that had been engaged in coups. At the time, he was the main beneficiary of a coup. On the 9th of 1983, 31st of December, as we crossed over to 1984, he was flown from Jos, where he was the GOC of the third div, to come and inherit, to become the head of state and commander of a coup that dethroned a well-organized, democratically elected government of Alhaji Shehu Shagari. So, being a man who had benefited from coup, who one could refer to as a man with knowledge of coup, You know what happens to coupists if they are caught, if they could not implement, because the sources of failure between the coupist executed or the one that go on to inherit seat as head of state is the sources of failure. So if that is the President Muhammadu Buhari's thinking and conclusion, then obviously would not be, there will be no justice for those our youths. But would they die in vain? Only time will talk. But I remember God telling Cain that the blood of your brother Abel has cried unto me from the earth. So let's leave that as that. Then Buhari backs Amechi as minister tackles Gambari over multi-million naira contract. This is very, very interesting story. Again, I will be biased on this. I will be biased in the sense that the details of my finding, word by word, I will post into the page of Friends of the Guru on Telegram later today. But that is not to say without discussing it. Let's discuss it. Buhari backs Amechi as minister tackles Gambari over multi-million naira contract. On this contract, which the BPP said did not go according to the norms of transparency. The BPP said this in their report. The contract that was given to two companies that have no idea on the issue at stake, because it has to do with international cargo tracking note, which is called ICTN scheme. It is a contract domiciled in the Nigeria Shippers Council. The Nigeria Shippers Council, I think, is one of the 5 major councils that deal with maritime and co. Other the Ministry of Transportation, others are the Nigeria Ports Authority, NIMASA, what have you? Is it Island Waterways or whatever? The contract was given to 2 companies. One, MedTech Scientific Limited, and the other one is Rossi International Limited. MedTech Scientific Limited is purely a medical company that has nothing to do with cargo tracking, security of cargo, or security of things in the maritime industry. Rossi International Limited is properly and purely an estate properties company. It has no knowledge or anything. In order to hide this, Amechi did not submit the profiles of the companies for Perusa. Now, at a point, Professor Gambari, he's been there now for some days, the chief of staff to the president.
Some days, Guru is almost over a year now.
Yes, he's been there for over a year, so it can't be said that it's new. Professor Gambari did not see this properly working, so Professor Gambari queried it. And what Rotimi Shibuki Amechi, the minister, did was not far from what he has been doing. Whenever contracts in the maritime industry is to be awarded since he became minister, he would bypass every scrutiny organization. He will go to the president. Don't forget, Rotimi Amechi was the Director General of the presidential campaign that accumulated into the election of 2015, where President Muhammadu Buhari came.
Yeah.
He was appointed again the Director General. So in that capacity, he became so close with the president. You see the way he prepared the president for the race, the way he presented him, the way he packaged him including one issue of we may have a say in President Muhammadu Buhari. Quickly, he made the president to talk about his wife, and the wife now was not traveling with him in campaign, which was not to be done before. All those are handiwork of Amaechi. And of course, Amaechi, in the first instance, was the governor of Rivers State. There was no doubt he opened the coffers of Rivers State to the exposure of the campaign. And he became so intimate with the president. And President Buhari, whoever that President Buhari loves or likes, whatever you want from him, he gets it done for you. More so when he's a man that does not go through reading of too many papers. He instead wants to listen to you. So, if you remember a viral video exposure of a time of the Amaechi himself speaking almost negative of President Muhammadu Buhari, you will record all these things. So the two companies now won this big major contract, and Professor Gambari, the chief of staff to the president, was even shamed. He was shamed. He was put to shame. I will try to read all this for you, because if it is only what we can talk about, that will be okay. Mr. Amaechi was able to circumvent due process and got Mr. Buhari to approve the contract, brushing aside BP's advice that only competitive bidding exercise was appropriate. BP said the contractors were hand-picked. I'm quoting from the report now. Instead of a process that would have allowed interested companies, locally and internationally, to compete. Premium Times understand that Mr. Gambari, let's say Professor Gambari, or the strength of a BP's memo decrying the embarrassing process followed by Mr. Buhari and Mr. Amaechi, has still been desirous of causing a reversal of the contract. What happened? Listen to this. In a memo dated October 14 and addressed to the president, Mr. Amaechi said the chief of staff had consistently sought to impose his interest on issues related to procurement process in his ministry. Still listen to the story. Making it official that he had evidence the chief of staff was not acting in public interest, but to benefit from the contract through process. Mr. Amaechi told Mr. President that Mr. Gambari's daughter, Bikisu Gambari, approached him for the contract. Listen, Nigerians, listen to what is happening. Listen to what is happening. Still reading the memo that Amaechi sent to President. I am particularly concerned that his opposition, that is the chief of staff opposition, to my ministry initiative in respect of the ICTN scheme has increased in tempo after the visit of a certain Miss Bikisu Gambari at his behest to my office with her partners to solicit for the award of this same ICTN contract, which request was not granted, Mr. Amaechi said in his letter to the president. It would appear to me that it is the desire to satisfy the multiple partners, such as those referenced above, that has led to the chief of staff continue advocacy and advice that this sensitive contract is split into several tranches with multiple service providers, even against standard practice. Then look at the killer point here. He requested that Mr. Gambari refrain from interfering with the procurement process of his ministry and the agencies in the interest of service harmony. In view of the foregoing, I respectfully solicit your excellency. It was now addressing to the president. His excellency intervention and directives in respect of the following matters. 1, that the chief of staff should refrain from these multiple acts of interference in procurement processes in my ministry and the agencies in the interest of service harmony, and in order to ensure that your excellency is given the benefit of honest and objective advice. devoid of personal interest at all times, especially in relation to matters affecting the Federal Ministry of Transport. And 2, that the procurement process, as earlier approved by Mr. Excellency, that is the President, should continue and be concluded by the Federal Ministry of Transportation, Nigeria Shippers Council, without taking the matter anywhere. Okay, this was accepted by the President, and the memo was sent to the Chief of Staff to the President to apologize and to refrain from anything to do that.
Well,
for example,
I was going to say that in ideal terms, the Chief of Staff is only concerned with the running of the President's protocol in Aso Rock.
Yes.
So I'm wondering why his name is coming up in contract.
Okay. You know his successor in office, Abayari.
Yes.
Was a supremo. Everything that goes to the President must pass through him. Don't forget that when Professor Isaac Adewale, the Minister of Health, then, in 2019, suggested that they should report all these things to help COVID-19 when it came around the whole world. He threw it away. He told him that anything you want to get in your ministry, take your memo through the permanent secretary, Ministry of Agriculture. Abayari was not only doing that, as vetting everything that goes to the President. In every visiting hour of visitors that came to the President, don't forget, the picture as published worldwide would have Abayari standing exactly to the left of Mr. President.
A position where the Vice President is supposed to occupy.
You're supposed to occupy. So, but now, what we now see is that Professor Gabari had worked with President Muhammadu Buhari at the time, during his presidency. He was something then for him, when he was head of state. But the authority and the intimacy that Abayari exploited were not available to Professor Gabari. And for reasons, I can only mention particularly that. Because Abayari was there in the beginning, from 2014 to 2015, when elections were won, everyone that made President Muhammadu Buhari cabinet had approval signature of Abayari. Professor Gabari didn't have this. But here now, Amechi had made allegation against Abayari that the daughter Belikisi came with partners to take this contract. And because
Gabari, you meant?
He did not grant them this thing. That escalated this thing. But for those who are friends of the guru, they will enjoy the benefit of the whole thing. What Amechi said, it might be true, it might not be true, but it tells you the working system of the government, the federal government, when it comes to contracts. So transparency sometimes can be far away from reality. And if transparency is far away from operation, then corruption is not being fought anywhere, as we have been told, given these facts on the ground now. But eventually, the two companies, MedTech Healthcare and Rosie, a property development firm, got this contract in place of those that with technical knowledge on monitoring things in the port security had been jeopardized. And the BPP made a statement that Amechi is always like that. In the issue of the battle between Amechi and Hadiza Bala Usman, these were the issues that presented themselves. But when the suspension of that matter was to be announced, nobody made mention of the issues at stake. The issues that were not at stake were the one mentioned. And I put it on record that 6 months after the woman had been suspended from office, no query had been submitted. Even the panel set up to investigate her had not invited her. 2 letters were written to invite her, and another letter was written to cancel it, that anytime they want to see her, they will call her, up to today. And we shall be talking about that in the incoming days of this thing. So I think, having said that, I will off the mic now. I will off the mic and talk just briefly about item number, is it 5?
Yes, 5.
5. Then I can now invite my brother, my expert in secrecy. That's trade 1 billion barrels oil discovery in the north. Mr. Gali Obaro, please listen to this. You know, I'm a novice in this, but I'm not a professional. But according to the Guardian report, concerns over transparency, accountability as NNPC fails to publish data. Second bullet point, stakeholders raise alarm over renewal of OPLs 809810. Bullet point number 3, geologists, explorations insist discovery political elusive. So, Obaro, I will not take the whole time to be running this without your input. Once again, sir, I welcome you to today's edition. And thank you very, very much, Obaro, for making yourself available. I'm most grateful. On behalf of Nigerians and the listeners all over the world, I welcome you once again. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Guru.
Okay, can we start from this interesting topic? But there is a paragraph there I want to read, so you can start from there. But stakeholders who spoke with the Guardian yesterday expressed concerns over the secrecy surrounding the exploration in the north, as the NNPC, which had pledged to be transparent and accountable, and concurrently partnering the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, is here to publish its spending on the matter. That is number 1. Number 2, please, I want also, when you are talking, I want you to mention this organization, New Nigeria Development Company Limited, NNDC, New Nigeria Development Company Limited, NNDC, which is purely owned by the 19 northern states, which had in 2007 1 oil prospecting license 809 and 810 in Gogola Basin. And either renew or no renew may be operating till today. And also take into cognizance when you are talking with us. Amidst the declining value of crude oil and weak investment outlook, the federal government had insisted that exploring the frontier basin, which is mainly in the north, remains sacrosanct, as 30% of the NNPC profit has already been earmarked for such exploration activities. Some of the inland basins are Anambra Basin, the Rift Basin called Benue Trough, which is segmented into upper, middle, and lower basin, Mid Niger or Bida Basin, Shad or Bonu Basin, and Sokoto Basin. So, sir, is there 1 billion barrel of crude oil discovered somewhere in the north? You have the floor for the next 5 minutes, sir.
Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Guru. When you talk about 1 billion barrel of crude oil, that is massive discovery. And it is not feasible that one wellhead can pump 1 billion barrel of crude oil. Don't forget, in this studio, I've always told you that every seismic data of every square kilometer of this country has been recorded. And if they're telling us that they found 1 billion barrel of crude oil somewhere in the Gongola Basin, it will be controversial.
Yes.
Because evidence and data available to us,
yes,
does not support this current information.
Yes.
I only got wind of it very late last night, and trust me, I made contact and evidence everywhere, data available. I don't like to be speculative, but
yes,
I have my evidence that I can prove it. Before the advancement of 3D seismic data,
yes,
oil discovery in the north wasn't of commercial viability.
Okay.
If the NNPC is not coming out straight, of course, in the oil industry, the PIA is supposed to open it up, but it's still the same of the same. It's even worse now. Because before now, there were no percentage allocation for oil exploration in the basin. Adding Anambra State is just, it is everywhere. No, there's no oil in Anambra State. The whole place has been combed, recombed, and combed. So it is just disease.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogade. What you are saying may not be too far from what a leading geologist, Toyin Akilosho, described the Gogola Basin discovery by the NNPC as tight information, referring to silver. Akishola said, I recall that someone said 1 billion barrel, but that could mean oil in place and not proven, as the well was not tested. The Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Oil, Gas and Power Forum, and Managing Partner, BBH Consulting, Amemadaki, said that the announcement by the government on oil and gas discovering in the north were more political than economic or technical. Then he added, for years, the government has been wasting scarce resources on frontier basin exploration without meaningful results. If indeed there is a find of 1 billion barrels in reserves in the north, why are oil and gas companies not scrambling for the acreage? He concluded like this. Like most absurd policy in the energy sector, this is another clear example of directionless policy and an attempt to use propaganda to manage the economy with disastrous consequences. For drilling production and reserve, sustained oil and gas production at high volumes in driven by investment and stable operation environment. He said, I'm quoting exactly what Ame Madaki, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria Oil, Gas and Power Forum and Managing Partner, BBH Consulting, said, which is not far from what you said now. Obaro, thank you very much. But first of all, my apology for getting this information late to you. I think I got it to you around 2 a.m. this morning. So my apology for that. But you have mentioned what the facts about industry is. Now let us go to another question.
Sorry, before you go, let me quickly add this.
Yes.
When you drill for oil,
yes,
please note, it is not like when you're drilling borehole water. Okay? You have to mount a whole full drilling rig. And in Nigeria today, the NNPC does not own one drilling rig. The drilling rig in Nigeria as a whole today, they are less than 10.
Less than 10?
Yes. All drilling rigs for oil drilling in Nigeria, they're less than 10. And out of this a number, I contacted 7 of them if they carry out any drilling exercise. I mean the biggest of the biggest.
Yes.
Just early this morning.
And what was the answer?
None of them confirmed that report to me. And
oil
discovery, it must come from a field. What is the name of this field? And when you talk about the discovery, look at the development of the Bonga West that is going to be developed now. The production capacity of that field is 225,000 barrels per day, crude only. So it has always been in secrecy and the desperation that some people want to find oil at all costs. They don't even mind maybe digging their own reservoir and buying oil from nowhere, just like the U.S. has strategic reservoir that they stockpile oil and pile it up somewhere. I said it is discovered. So it will not be funny to me. And I agree with the geologists.
Thank you very much. Let's hold it there. Now, cooking gas has gone out of reach. The good thing was that just 2 months ago, I predicted that if the industry information getting to me says that before Christmas, a gas cylinder of 12.5 will be selling for about 10,000 naira. I mean 10,000, yeah. But today, it is going above 12,000 already. What is actually happening in this gas oil? But please minimize the time. Take 4 minutes to answer this question because we still have two major big questions before we throw the lines open. What is happening with the cooking gas? Is Nigeria losing the battle? What is actually happening, sir? Please tell us.
The Minister for State for Petroleum has told you that because there is no subsidy on gas production, that is why cooking gas price is skyrocketing. But this is not new, please. You should disregard that. The reason is this. There is a gas master plan. And that gas master plan has been jettisoned. As I speak to you today, the last LNG train was built in 2007. And Nigeria, as a country with over 200 billion standard cubic feet proven reserve of gas, we shouldn't be suffering this. The NGC, which is a Nigerian gas company, a subsidiary of the NNPC Limited now, supposed to be producing gas for domestic purposes.
Okay.
But as I speak to you, you cannot quantify the volume they produce per day.
Why?
Because the NGC barely exists on paper. As I speak to you, the reason, like the LNG, are busy satisfying the foreign contractual obligations they have. 2, you have gas turbine that you want to use to power electricity. 3, in preparation for a domestic utilization of the gas master plan, you sensitize before now, Goro. If you look back about 10, 15 years ago,
yes,
using LPG was more like middle class and elitist. But now you can see that these small cylinders, at a point, the federal government were buying cylinders for people and those hand burners for people. But now you have increase in demand and you're not producing. So this is critically responsible. And the NNPC that are supposed to do that, they are now busy constructing federal government road. I don't really understand.
The question is, okay, so now we have identified the fact that there is no government investment in gas production. Why are there no private players? Or why is the floor not open for private players to come in?
Or private participation.
Private participation. Thank you.
I do. Thank you very much for that question. The now defunct Department of Petroleum Resources is not far away from this place. Try to apply for a license. That is one.
Would you?
Guru, I think I'll pass.
Okay.
Oh God.
Mr. Gadi.
Sir.
Thank you very much for this exposure. There is one very, very vital question that I need to ask. It is like the whole country is now saying, oh, thank God, there is a relief. In a few hours' time, Dangote will come on stream with his 650,000 barrel per day crude refining power. Is that this question is pretty clear. Is Dangote company or Dangote refineries, is it coming as a private business in private business participation capacity, or is it coming as a charity organization to rescue Nigeria from high price of finished product, petroleum distinct? And why did the federal government went to look for money by all means to buy 20% into the Dangote refineries? Please, if you can give us answer for only 3 minutes on this, we appreciate it.
Thank you once again. But Guru, sometime last year and early this year, you saw that the Dangote refinery was a mecca of some sort. What has happened?
Yes. Every government, every top official.
What has happened now? And there were projections that this, before now, don't forget, when Ibe Kachuko was a minister for petroleum, he has thought that he will commission that refinery.
Yes.
5 years after.
About 2017 or when?
Yes, that is 5 years after the due date. The refinery is not yet on stream. And if the refinery is going to come on stream in first quarter of 2022, the refinery should be test running. A refinery, look, because if you've not been to a refinery before, you would think it's a child's play. No.
It's never exactly.
Ado, as you are here now, you producing this show. If I spend maximum 2 weeks with you, I should be able to produce this show. In the refinery, you could be in one unit, for example, CDU, which is crude distillation unit, for all your life. Physical pipes that are
massive as this.
Massive as a 13 mm, 45 inch, 48 inches.
Dimension.
Yes, tracing them. You see them, as in physically. For you to trace them, you will spend all your life in that unit. You will not be able. That is when you have the manual. That is another one. Then Nigerians always say, "Oh, Nigerians are intelligent." Where all over the world, that not the states building for the states, one individual, they putting on their hope on one individual. I don't have anything against the man, but for a state and the entire country to believe that a 650,000 barrel per day refinery is coming to the rescue. I listen to a lot of business analysts. They only quote paper figures. Oh, it is going to save $1. It will not save a penny. The refinery, it will not save 1 penny. The reason is this: everything used for the construction of the refinery
came from abroad.
The spare parts, the maintenance, even your catalytic, which is bulk purchase, your caustic soda, and so many other solvents. So how is it going to save the naira? I was so disappointed. I don't want to believe that statement come from the former Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Moda Yusuf. But if it did, that removing subsidy will make the Nigerian economy stand, I question how he got to that position.
My God. Go ahead, sir.
I question it. And Nigerians are clapping for these people. That is why the economy is a voodoo economy that nobody can understand.
It's a voodoo economy.
Yes. That only the operators and the manipulators understand this kind of economy. Because, look, we have a domestic consumption. Nobody's asking about it. They're banding figures about, when they remove subsidy, it is going to be 350, 340, this, that. No accurate data. The Dangote refinery, when it comes on stream, is going to be 6th largest refinery in the world. And for a refinery of that size, the NNPC is telling you that refinery will have to refine crude oil for 12 calendar months to meet 1 day consumption of Nigerian PMS. And you are all laughing and you're clapping and you're saying that you're intelligent. I question this as well. When does that happen? The GMD comes on air every time and tell you that Nigeria consumes 16 million liters of PMS. How? Do we have vehicles in this country? How? Nobody questions it.
Okay.
At the time the borders were shut, pumping is the same thing. Okay, how do you account for the 60 million liters of PMS per day?
Or could it be generators?
The man said, which generator?
I better pass my neighbor.
How many? How many?
Well, we don't have data for that.
Look, in 2011, 2012, I've said it in the studio before that refinery were shut down because storage were full. And there was this subsidy. There are things you don't know. I get a lot of warning every now and then. Oh, the DSS did, the DSS does. But we help the government.
Okay, let me not expose you more than the one you have been warned about. Hold it there. One last question. And Obaro, please, just only 1.5 minutes to answer this. Can modular refineries refine PMS?
Not at all. Modular refineries only have CDU, which is a crude distillation units, and because of that, they can only refine diesel and kerosene. And
please, sir, repeat this again.
They cannot refine PMS. No modular refinery anywhere in the world refines PMS. The moment it begins to refine PMS, it's no longer a modular refinery, because it means that it will have a fluid catalytic session and naphthalene session, so that is no longer a modular refinery. But modular refineries can only refine diesel. They can only refine diesel and kerosene, then produce atmospheric residue, which is your quota. So for those people who always say that Nigeria should mount bitumen, please jettison that quota, which is bitumen, is atmospheric residue in the refineries, and it's a byproduct of crude oil, and you have it in abundance. So why should you spend money to go and mine a highly viscous bitumen that is deposited somewhere? So it is not economically
okay, thank you very much.
Feasible.
Please take your breath. Unfortunately, I don't have a glass of water for you there, because you will need more than a keg, 50 liters of water to calm down. So calm down, relax. As I open my lines, because questions will be coming to you, so that the discussion continues. Adu?
All right, Guru, let's open up the lines. I think I should start from our friends with the pen today, Guru, before we go to phone lines. Number of them have been sending in messages, so we'll just go ahead and read them. Lots and lots of messages, I must add. This one is coming from Maxwell. Says, good morning, Adu and the Guru. It says, Nigeria, old Nigeria. The only country whose foundation was laid on a sandy soil. The only country that imports what she has and exports what she doesn't have. The only country that builds a house from the roof rather than from the floor. And the only country that kills and eats the only goose that lays the golden egg. What a country. We have crude oil, but we import fuel. We rear cattle, but we import them. We cultivate and plant yam and cassava, but we import them. We lack qualified teachers, engineers, and doctors, but we end up exporting them. What is wrong with the country, Adu? Can you please explain to me? Maxwell, I tell you, I don't have answers to your questions. I wish I did.
Thank God this question is directed to you, Adu.
Guru, are you throwing me under the bus?
No, I said, thank God. The man directed this question to you. You might be afraid. Please go ahead.
If I knew, I'd probably have faced Asarok by now to share the ideas with the president. This is someone asking Guru again. I'm not sure, not too many people know how to become part of the Friends of the Guru. Another dear listener here is asking, saying, how do you become? Okay, so if you're listening to us, you want to join the Friends of the Guru platform. There are two platforms. There's a WhatsApp, but there's a Telegram platform that is open to everybody. The Telegram platform simply means you have to download a Telegram app on your phone. Yes. Telegram is spelled Telegram.
Yes.
Okay? So you download the app on your phone, and then you log in and go to the search bar. It has a search bar on the top or on the bottom, depending on the operating system you're using. Type in Friends of the Guru. Okay? It'll bring it out, and you'd see the logo. It has a picture of the Guru there. Just click in join. It will allow you to join, but you can't comment or stuff like that. But you'll be part of it. You can get the details, and you can start to make your subscription. So Friends of the Guru on Telegram. It's an app. You need to download the app on your phone, just the same way you download WhatsApp, Facebook, and the likes. Okay, that's how you join. Let me take one more from WhatsApp. Hey, this one is longo. I'll just shorten it. I'll shorten it. Yes, I'll have to shorten it. I think it's from our friend Aki. It says, good morning, Adu. Okay. It says, Adu and Guru. APC and Buhari as opposition party in 2014 regarded fuel subsidy as a scam. In fact, they led Nigerians to protest against the removal of subsidy by GEJ that led to his defeat, in 2015. I wonder what has happened to what they regarded as scam. For them to be telling the same Nigerians that they will have to remove fuel subsidy and Nigerians couldn't protest the same manner they did to GEJ. Adu, no be juju be that. Well, I don't know what it is.
All of them are asking that question today. Thank God the guru is out of the scene.
So he says, we're looking at like Lukman. PMB does whatever he likes. This is satanic bewitchment. Okay, let me skip. I want to agree with the guru. PMB saw and said it openly that those involved behind the protests wanted to topple his government. Why the military were invited, guns were shot, etc., etc. The man that will have to live with the pains of this is Governor Sanwo-Olu. That wasn't man enough to handle the protest without involving the president. Okay. It's actually from Adegboyega, not Akin. My apologies. Adegboyega.
Okay, Adegboyega.
Yes. Oh, all right. We go to the phone lines now. 0809-234-5913. You can also call us on 0809-191-3913. Hello.
Hello, Ricardo. Good morning.
Hello, Peter. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. Mr. Barrow, I am the guru. Let me quickly say this. Mr. Barrow, your life is hidden in God through Christ Jesus. All the traits of the enemies, when you come out to say the truth, will never work against you. The same prayer I offer for the Guru and Adeni Ikuno and Mr. Adu. You make it possible for us to know the truth. And the Bible has told us that the truth shall set us free. But the question I want to ask you is that, why is it that all the key points of the campaign of this government, now when people say you did not deliver and they turn against the people and begin to threaten the people, even in the security sector, they promise us security. Then now if somebody says, no, we are not totally secured, we don't have the weapon, it's either your plane will crash or your plane will reverse the vehicle and come and hit you and you're dead. And in the economy, if you talk, they begin to issue press letters. I just want to ask, a government that knows that is not going to stay forever, and they will go one day, why do they threaten the people that are revealing the truth? Please, can you help me to know this? Because for me, it's a good government, and God will not allow them to succeed with their evil plan. In Jesus' name. I want to hear that, please.
Thank you.
We have another call. We lost that one. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning to the both of you.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Your name is what?
Mike from Surulere.
Mike from Surulere. All right, Mike, go on, join us, please.
Okay, I wanted to ask your guest. Good morning to your guest. I wanted to find out from you. I thought that the Dangote refinery had a petrochemical service, which is supposed to produce raw materials for them to be able to use, for the. Can you just clarify that, please?
Okay. Did you get the question?
Yes.
Obaro,
Sir.
that's a question for you.
Yes. Quickly, when you say, like, all Nigerian refineries are refining and petrochemical company, the Nigerians, because they don't know, most of them, let me not say all of them, most of them don't know. When you say refining and petrochemical company, it simply means that it produces some other product aside the primary product for fossil fuel. Which of them is fertilizer. In fact, the fertilizer unit, we were made to understand that it has been running. But what is the cost of fertilizer in Nigeria today? You understand? A petrochemical does not mean it is producing chemicals for itself. No, it's other added product, because a gas has so much urea, which is used for a fertilizer production. So because they extract it from the gas, although the gas that comes from the refinery is very small, because that is why when you look at the classification of crude oil now, gas is not there. That is the reason for flaring in the flow stations and gas compressor lift. But the petrochemical simply means it produces other products, like for propylene, your pipes, and carbon black. I've said it in this studio before, maybe perhaps, and maybe you went listening to this studio the session at the time. But this is what it actually means, not manufacturing for
all right
itself.
Thank you. Go ahead, Adu.
All right, let's go back to our friends with the pen, Guru. This is coming from Goke from UK. It says, reason my dear country will never progress: when due process is circumvented, contracts are awarded not on competence but selfish gains. I don't have the facts, but I strongly believe the oil exploration in the north is an absolute fraud, simply a political move which will keep moving the country. Hamid Kuti says, Adu, Nigerians, why are we living like a fool? I don't understand your question, Hamid. Wale from Surulere. What did you say, Guru, sir?
The 206, or how many away, all of us cannot be living like fools. Maybe he did not articulate his question properly. But all this, let's thank him for contributing.
Wale from Surulere says, it's a great honor to listen to my mentor dishing out information with a lot of passion. Every moment with you is always golden. Wale from Surulere, I'll see you soon. I don't know if it's...
I know him.
If it's Obaro or Adu that is referring to.
I think it's Obaro he's talking about.
Not Adu.
I'm not the one dishing out information here. Obaro is stunning me as well. Let me take one more from
WhatsApp.
Phone. Yes, WhatsApp. So, Obaro, here's a question, because you talked about bitumen, and initially one of the things we usually poise to leaders is that, hey, we have many rich resources around us. Bitumen is some of the things we even mention, amongst other. Another person is asking here, because of what you mentioned, are you saying Ondo State, bitumen state, is a fraud or is a lie?
You didn't get it. What I mean is this: if you have bitumen coming from crude oil as byproducts,
okay,
and you want to
now spend another money,
exploring bitumen is capital intensive. Huge. So does it make sense?
When you can get it cheaply from here,
you can get it as a byproduct.
Do you listen? Even the refinery itself cannot use electricity to power its own heaters. You understand? The bitumen, which is atmospheric residue or vacuum residue, is further processed. It is called velocity stream. It is what is used as a fuel to power the heaters. It is sold to industries to power their heaters and their boilers, to drive down the cost of production. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you don't get it, when you go
no, of course.
If you have electric iron, if it is a steam iron, is it a 2000 watts iron? Put it on your electricity for 2 hours.
Your night bill will run out.
You understand?
Yeah.
So same thing. You cannot put heaters on although the refinery generates its own electricity, but you cannot put the heaters on the.
So it uses the bitumen as the byproduct.
Yes, it is further processed to velocity stream. So it is a fuel that powers your heaters.
So I'm sure that answers the question of our dear listener. Back to the phone lines. Numbers again: 015150913 and 015151913. More calls coming through. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good Good morning, Guru. Good morning, Obaro. Good morning, Adu. My name is Ralph.
Good morning, sir.
All right, Ralph, go on, please.
First things first, NGC, all these years that they've been in operation, they do not produce gas for local consumption. 2, the world today is shifting away from oil, from crude. We are still emphasizing on discovering oil from the north. 3, you've not mentioned anything concerning that NNDC as owned by 19 states of the north, for which to understand their operations, mode of operations, and interest. 4, DPR failing to give licenses to people to go into gas production. It is unfair. Then finally, the local content law, which was supposed to encourage individuals from within to invest in areas of oil and gas, modular refineries, and all that. What is delaying the issuance of licenses to encourage people to go into these particular forms of production? Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
You want to answer them?
Please, Mr. Val, let me correct that. I never said that DPRO is not giving licenses to. I said ADU should try and apply and see the process. Because when something is open, just like I've mentioned now, that the PIA is supposed to bring up everybody. But there are clauses there that is driving the same people away. You see it physically. And for your modular refinery question, you saw it now, that why are investors not coming? It means there is something driving them away. The man building the 650,000 barrel refinery today, if it's not connected politically, trust me, you will never do that, because you will never recover from that economic sabotage. There are so many people, if the floor is opened. Mr. Val, please read the PIA. There is a clause that provides that only Dangote and the NNPC can import PMS. These two agencies takes our hard-earned foreign reserve at a particular rate, and you said that you come and build a refinery at 600 naira per dollar somewhere, and compete with somebody who takes the dollar at 410, even less. Be fair to yourself. And for the oil exploration in the north, before now, don't we have the Northern Governors Forum? Don't we have the Northern Agenda before now? There is desperation. Yes. For your information, the PIA provides that if you find oil in the basins which are in the north, it is 7%. And in the south, for Shell, it is western operation and eastern operation. And in the south, it is 50% and 22.5%. Yes, these companies that have the financial muscles to carry out all kinds of exploration are running away from 7%
and are going for
22%. Okay, please, there's a brain in our head. We are meant to use this. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Adu?
Yes, sir. We'll go back to our friends with the pen.
Please do.
Ola Sukomi says, okay. Is it true Dangote refinery will be selling PMS in Nigerian dollars? I doubt. We can buy. Except with the Nigerian government or Nigerian people. Now, he didn't clarify.
Is the dollar illegal tender in Nigeria?
No, it's not. So, to the Nigerian people, no. But even for other things, we convert our naira to the currency it's going to be sold in, and then we buy from it. Olude says, Obaro, you're doing a fantastic job. Well done. Guru, I greet you, sir. That's Olude from Mera. Peter from Ikeja says, good morning, Guru and Adu. Every exposure only tends to give us insight on how deep and very deep we are into this corruption. And one will ask, for what reasons are we corrupt? Well, Richard, Peter, I don't know. Richard from Lekki says, I just joined an oil and gas consulting firm, and I stumbled on a document of import of PMS price, and it was shocking. please, I want your guest to tell us how much is PMS per liter landing price, and he puts with a lot of ellipses in there.
Landing cost?
Landing price, landing cost.
Obaro, let me excuse you from going into that body again.
I can answer him.
Okay.
Yeah, I should answer him. When you say
landing, 1 minute.
When you say landing cost, there are people who are driving this landing cost, and there is a reason for it. To hoodwink you into believing it. The same people telling you the landing cost, they're not accounting for the domestic consumption production that is given to them for free, 450,000 barrels per day. So which of the landing costs are you talking about? The other time I was in this studio, I said that, a company removed a branding from their vehicles. It was in the 80s. Why? Because they went to a local market and the people recognized them, and there was an emergency meeting. And the company said that, the locals are beginning to understand what we do here. The same reason the headquarters of all multinationals were not domiciled in where they're producing it. And for your information, if you don't know, if you say people say because of communication, no. The IOCs has their own telecommunication gadgets. They built it for themselves. They don't wait for the government where they are. And let me just use this stroke to answer another thing.
You have less than
not a problem. The IOCs are running away from the onshore and shallow water fields. They've created problems for you that you cannot handle. A principal case is the oil spillage in Bayelsa now. Over 2 million barrels has been spilled. No matter the cleaning, no matter how sophisticated and how deep it is, that environment will never be recovered in the next 150 years.
My God. Thank you very much, Obaro.
Wow.
I do.
Guru, should we take one more call before we wrap things up here?
We may be able. Okay. Just one call, please.
All right. Hello, turn off your radio, okay? And let's get talking. All right. Well, I think we lost the call, Guru.
Replacement.
Okay. Then I think let me just read a WhatsApp message instead. Oh, okay. I have the call
Short
back.
one, please.
Yes, call is up now.
Ogadu.
Tunde?
Thank God. Good morning.
Good morning to you. You'll be the last call today.
Guru. Daddy Guru, God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Less than 30 seconds.
Quickly, sir. All this knowledge, sir, that we're hearing now, does it mean that governments are not aware of this, or they are aware of these truths, but they intentionally ignore all of them? And what is the solution, sir? That is my question because of our time.
All right, thank you, Tunde.
I will not be able to answer your question today. Probably answer it more because time is on us, because we have a brief introduction to our job box. So I do. No more. Now, Obaro, thank you very much for being with us and for this knowledge. I want you to give me a guarantee, Obaro. Once two of us will sit down in the studio to pick the topic today from after historical perspective is given. That's Obaro.
Okay,
Hello?
Your line was breaking a little bit, Guru, so we didn't hear what you said about picking up topic.
Okay, I'm just thanking you for coming, and I told him I want an assurance for him that once I'm back to town, I will bring him again on the studio to start from where we are stopping today. Is he giving me that assurance?
Of course, you have it, Mr. Guru. You always have it.
Thank you very much. God bless you. And now, introduction to our knowledge box, which because we have a few minutes to. I want to describe the knowledge drop box from next we'll be bringing to you the 7 most dangerous Nigeria ever produced. It's knowledge anyway. The first is Mama. The second one is Shino Rambo. The third one is Lawrence Sani. The fourth one is Shola Yenusi. The fifth one is Isaka Busari. The seventh one is Evans. The sixth one is Evans. And the seventh one is No. Let me call all of them the most notorious armed robbers, the most notorious criminals of them all. All these seven, the one that reigned as king over above them.
Lawrence Anini.
Yes. Who? Alias the law. So next week, Mama, because each one will break down of historical background. So that is what will happen next week. Prince Will, I thank you. So I'm very, very grateful for coming. And for all friends, thank you very much. Please permit me to add this that this I have just started. Please. The good forward. So, having said this, I have thanked every person. I do once again. I give you thanks.
Yes, good.
And on tomorrow we shall be on Money Digest. Then Monday we'll be meeting at this platform, which is the most dedicated platform, or on affairs. Please keep it. Bye bye.